Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and thank you for joining me today. Today's focus is going to be on the Mermaid Grotto. This is one of the mega bead mixes from Jesse James Beads. And I tell you, it is absolutely incredible. I have three earring demos to do, and we have one necklace to do. And I still have all of these beads to work with. These by far are my favorite. I love this. And I'm going to be making a bracelet using those and possibly these. These have a large hole, so I'm thinking of maybe doing something leather, but maybe doing multi-strand bracelet. So we're going to be using some beads and components from that box. So we're going to go ahead and put that off to the side. Also too, I was sitting here and thinking, I don't have any gold head pins that are flat head pins. How do I not have any flat head pins? And then I remembered I got some of these Jesse James Beads wire and findings box in gold and in silver from Walmart. I found them on the Walmart website and I grabbed them up. And in these boxes, you get ear wires, you get jump rings, 4 and 6 millimeter, lobster clasps, head pins, crimp beads. You get some beading wire, you get some craft wire, some 20 gauge wire, and actually it's probably German style wire. And then you get some elastic cord. Is that not incredible? Look at that. And I just remembered that I had got those. And so now I have myself a clasp. I have some jump rings, though I used, I think, bigger jump rings because by the time I realized that I had that, I had already used, I think these are open jump rings. I got these from Jesse James Beads, and these are 6 millimeter. They are 6 millimeter, and there's 6 millimeter in here too, but I didn't use the ones from in here. We're also going to be using some white Quartz Color soft flex beading wire in the medium size, some of their 2x2 crimp tubes. This wire is for our earrings, but we're also going to use our Magical Crimpers so we can get that gorgeous bead-like finish. We're going to need some flesh cutters, and we're going to be using some chain nose pliers so that we can get our jump rings on, and then I'm going to use a pair of bent chain nose pliers. So what I have here, everything is from the mega box with the exception of these guys here. If you recall, these were included. They've been included in different mixes, but this was part of a seed bead mix from April Magical Mystery Bead Box, maybe April or March. And I just love them. They are kind of sort of like bead caps, but then also too, you can use them. I mean, there's several different ways to use them, and you can use them as a flower, as a bead cap, as a bed for beads. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to use them as a bed for beads. We're going to use the shell beads. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to be doubling up on the beading wire. Then also from the mix are these large hole spacers, and I love these for using them as connectors, but today we're going to use them as bails, and we are going to be connecting these gorgeous mermaid fins with some chain from my stash and then using some jump rings. Now I haven't done this. I haven't put this together, so I'm not sure how it's all going to turn out, how it's all going to look. But when you bring soft flex and Jesse James beads to any beading mat, you know that you're going to have something pretty incredible. So what I'm going to do is I have just a little bit left in this spool here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and use it all. And whatever I have left as scraps, I'll leave from scraps. Here is why. There are times where I might want to pass. Sometimes it's easier to use your Magical Crimpers when you have 3 strands of the beading wire going through the crimp tube sometimes. And I know that when I first started learning, that was one of the things I did was I was putting through like sending through like a third pass, and I felt like the third pass was giving me a better looking finish. And that was just me just learning. But let me see how much I have here. So I have about 26 inches here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring in, I have some chain, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to make this necklace. So what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and thread this on, and I'm not going to use a wire guard. I'm just going to go ahead and go directly onto the chain, just like so, and try and get down to the middle. There we go. Then let's grab the crimp tubes. So let's go ahead and grab a couple of crimp tubes. Love their crimp tubes. Let's go ahead and get one slid on there. Sometimes it's easier to be a little off when you're passing these through, or uneven or whatever, and then you can even it up after you get that on. And just bring down, and I try to bring down slowly, because I will tell you, I have coiled up my beading wire before. I did that because I was too quick. I did it too fast. Okay, so now we have our wires separated. I have a nice good working loop there, so it's not so tight. I'm going to go ahead and come in with these Magical Crimpers that have the one well, as opposed to your standard crimper where you have the two wells. And what you're going to do is you're going to get that crimp tube placed right in the middle of your of the well there, and you're going to give it a squeeze. And when you give it a squeeze, you get the four corners pinched down. Then what you're going to do is you're going to turn it on its side, get back in the middle there, get it on its side, get in the middle of your crimp tube, and just start crimping. And then I just start turning it around, and what I do is I keep turning until there's no tension. And when I feel that there's no tension, then I know that I likely have that bead-like finish. And there we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead, and I'm hoping both strands will fit through here. Yep, they should. So we're gonna go ahead and thread on one of these beads here. Isn't that gorgeous? Doesn't it look pretty with the white? And then we're gonna go ahead and thread on one of those kind of like caps, like so. And then we're gonna do our, like a teardrop bead with the small side facing down. So when you look at it, isn't that pretty? That's pretty. I just like how it sits. I like how it makes a little bed for the bead, but then I also like how it sits up against the bead. Now what we're gonna do for the shell is we are going to get this a little even here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have one strand go through the back, go up through the back, and then one go through the top, and then just pull those together, just like so. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take the small end of the teardrop and pass that through, just like so. And then just bring this evened out. Just kind of even it out a little bit. And that's what you get. Then we're gonna go ahead and we're going to put on our little flower with the inside facing the bottom of that bead. Then we're gonna go ahead and put this guy on. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this guy on. Just like so. Maybe. We might get him through there. Let's see if I can just get one at a time. Okay, so I grabbed another one. And now I can't remember which one's which, but let's try this. There we go. I think it was this one. Okay, so now let's go ahead and bring that down. Okay, you see how we're going? Now let's bring the fat end of that one. Okay, so here we go. And we don't want it to be tight because we want that bead to be able to kind of move, and we don't want it to be stiff, but then yet we want it to be at least a little sturdy in there. We just don't want it to sit on top of this one too much. I guess I could have done like maybe a small cap or something, or a small bead. All right, so now let's go ahead and we are going to have one through the back, one through the back, and one through the top. Okay, and bring those together just like so. And then, since I only had 6 of those, so I'm not able to do that same pattern, well, it's okay because, that's not the whole, it's okay because we are going to actually use, we might have to finagle this just a little bit. We are actually going to use these as bails. So this here, I want that side to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and thread that through, and we're gonna make the second little bail. And the way I did that was I took some of my chain, and this one I think I did 8 links, and this one I did 5. So I cut some links of this small chain. I grabbed my 6mm jump ring, and then I'm going to go ahead and open her up that way. Thread on this chain. I love this chain because it does have small little links. Okay, then let's go ahead and get this on there. And this is thin enough to where it went on there pretty easily. And then let's close it up, and you can hear it lock into place. There you go. So this one's gonna sit just a little bit higher. And so what I wanna do is take this one here, open it up, just like so. Then I'm gonna go ahead and get that threaded on here. Then I also want to pass that through this spacer. Okay, and as you can see, the 6mm is just perfect. And then make sure it just locks into place. I heard it lock into place. There we go. And then, so now we have that. We're gonna turn it this way. So now let's go ahead and get that on there. Nope, needs to turn this way. Okay. Let's try and pass at least both of these through, right? Okay. So we're passing that through. Doesn't want to go through. Okay. And then this is what we're going to have. It's going to look kind of like that. So you're going to see the wire, and that's why I thought that the white just would look really super pretty. So now let's go ahead, and now we're going to repeat the same thing on this side. This one's a little bent. So now we're going to go ahead and insert that. Okay, just like so. Then how did we do this? We did like that. So we're going to go from the back through the front and bring that. And again, I'm just kind of doing it slowly. I don't want to mess anything up. Then we're going to go ahead and put this guy through here. this way. Then we're gonna put this through this way. If we can get this one to go through twice. I think I'm gonna put this one through first because that one's it's a little bent. I bent it up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Again, just kind of bringing it down slowly so I don't kink anything, get anything out of sorts. Let's go ahead and do this. Perfect. Then we're going to go ahead and do this one again, but facing the other direction. Okay. Go down slowly. You see how I'm just kind of gradually pushing things through? There we go. I'm not going to end up with as much extra beading wire as I thought I was going to have. Okay, so go through the back, go through the front. There you go. Let's pass this through, just like so. There we are. Let's get this one. Oh, this one looks kind of weird. I think this is the one that I couldn't pass through, but it might have been because I was going from the back. Let's see if going from the front is a little bit better. So let's do that. I don't know if this is going to go through. I might have to try and dig and find another one. I love these little flowers. They're so pretty. Let's just keep on trying. Let's just keep on trying. I know that this is a beading awl, but I'm just hoping that it just kind of opens, because I feel that there's like a little something there that's kind of blocking it a little bit. And I'm afraid to do this too much because I don't want to break it. So let's just try it again. Yeah. Oh, that kind of went through a little bit better. Let's see. Oh my sweet word. I'm trying here. I'm just bound and determined to get that to go through there, huh? Oh my goodness. I can feel like, there it goes. We did it. Yay. Okay, so now let's do that. And then let's go through this last one here. And there we go. So now I need to figure out how long this is going to be and how long I want my chain. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. I went ahead and grabbed the length that I wanted because I want this to sit in the middle of my chest. And so went ahead and did that. Eyeballed and cut a second strand of my chain. And I didn't want a big thick chain because I want this to be the focal, not necessarily my chain. Now, if I would have had a longer piece of beading wire, I could have probably just made this my chain and crimped it off here and used one of the crimpers, just like so, and just to cut this off so that it stays nice and tight, and then have this be the rest of my chain. I think that would have been cute too. But I'm going to go ahead and pull some of these 4mm out of 4mm jump rings out of this mix. And I just love it. I'm going to try and see if I can. There's the head pins that I'm using, some ear wires that I'll be using. I did grab one of the lobster clasps. This is the beading wire. There is the craft wire that is, or German style wire, maybe German style wire, that is 20 gauge, and then some of that elasticity. So I really love this. I'm going to see if I can find and get that link for you and put that in the description also. I think I can put like a Walmart link in the description, right? So we'll try, but I really love this. So jump on over to walmart.com. And also too, sometimes you'll find mixes there that are exclusive to Walmart. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take one strand, I'm going to put on my crimp tube. Where's my crimp tube? I must have lost my other crimp tube in the whole grand scheme of moving all this stuff around. Here, I have enough in here. So let's go ahead and grab these. Let's grab another one. I'll probably find it somewhere randomly. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And what I want to do is I need to put my 2 strands through there. Okay, so I'm going to put my 2 strands. I'm going to take 1 strand and pass it through my chain. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same strand and pass it back through this crimp tube. I'm going to try and pass it through the bead as well, because I want to have a little bit of extra kind of room to pull this. Let me see if I can get this in here. I should be able to get it in there another third time. Let's pull it this way. There, that was very cinchy. Very easy, very easy. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we can pass it through. It just, for me, it just gives me a little bit of extra, I don't know, a little bit of extra room to kind of pull. Okay, so now let's go ahead and bring that down. Let's make sure things are tightened the way you want them. And you can maneuver all this stuff around, and it does sit really nicely on around your neck. Okay, and this is just going to be an extra piece, right? So now I'm going to start pulling this down. I want to be sure that I get this maybe about the same. I want to try and hope to get about the same, a little bit more. Okay, and then we have that. That looks good. All right, so now we have this, and this is why I like pulling it through another bead, is because then I'm not messing with it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get it to go in the middle. So I'm pulling that a little bit more tightly there. And let's go ahead and give it a crimp down. I did not get that exactly centered, so it's not going to give me a pretty perfect bead-like finish, but it'll still give me a bead-like finish. You just need to try and get it in there and just start going around and going around and going around until you feel, and now there's no more tension. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and trim this away without hopefully trimming away anything else. So I got to keep it away from the chain, right? Then I'm going to come in here and trim it away there. Okay, and then I can just, oh, that is so pretty. I think it goes this way. Yes, it does. Okay, so now we have that. You can kind of twist things around, and there's wiggle room in there. So if you want a little bit more room in between here and here, or if you want to tighten things down, you can tighten things down. So now let's go ahead and bring in our little 4mm jump rings. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and open that up just like so. I'm going to go ahead and get that to go through that top link, and then I'm going to send that through my lobster clasp. And you saw that there was already another jump ring sitting on my lobster clasp, and that's because that was my it's my closed ring. I can't tell if I have this done or not. I don't feel like I do. There it goes. Okay. Yep, that's perfect. Fingernail test, good. And so this was my closed ring. And that's how, because sometimes with these jump rings, you can't tell where the opening is or the slit is. And so let's go like so. Give it a little bit of a twist. Go this way. I am in love with this. Maybe I can wear it this weekend. What's anybody doing for Memorial Day weekend? Hopefully I can get this posted by then. Been having a heck of a time getting stuff posted on YouTube this week. Or the last week. We did have, I mean, our internet went crazy last night. Oh, our internet went a little crazy last night where we lost our internet. And then when I had it open to the Wi-Fi, right? I started looking because I could see my neighbors, my neighbors' Wi-Fi, their network, and I can see because they have AT&T as well. And then I noticed that in our area, we also have Spectrum. And I noticed that the Spectrum networks were down too. And it was just only for maybe, 10, 15 minutes or so. But here we go. Here we have our cute little necklace. And I will put this on the bust and I will get this photographed. And so I can get a nice picture posted. But isn't that kind of cute? I love using these as little bails. Just cute. Just get creative with what you got. And I'll get this put up on the bust. I'll get a picture of it. But we still have a couple more projects to do. Actually, 3 more projects. We have a pair of earrings. And, oh, I was going to grab the ear wires from here. So I was also looking for ear wires, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to grab them out of my little findings box. Is this just an awesome box or what? So I'm going to need 2 more pairs. So I'm probably going to need all of them. 1, 2, 3. So I have an extra one. Either have an extra one or, let me see, how many were you supposed to get? 6 ear wires, so I got an extra ear wire. So if one of them doesn't work, I got an extra. Isn't that just true Jessie James Beads form, where you have a little bit extra? If you've ever been to any of their workshops, Beads and Blooms, did you guys participate in Beads and Blooms? You get extra stuff. Summer camp is coming up in August. Cannot wait. Okay, so here's our first pair of earrings. I'm using those little wood, and again, this is from the Mermaid Grotto Mega Bead Mix. I'm using these little wood connectors or charms, drops, and then I'm going to use, look at that bead. Isn't that gorgeous? And then I made a bead cap with just a bed, like a nested jump ring of jump rings, and then I used one of the rondelles. And I love those colors together because the blue comes out in the blue, and then there's a little bit of that mint in there too. And that's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull in this is 20 gauge German style wire. And I am going to make a substantial size loop down at the bottom so that I can make sure to get through this all the way. However, though, beforehand, let's make this nest. And I learned this nest from Kelly Sutton, and I just love it. I love being able just to add this in wherever I can. And so I have these 6mm jump rings still. And I mean, they're already closed up. So I try to grab one that isn't as closed as another, but they are closed up really, really well. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this one here and just dip it into the first one. So the second one gets opened and dipped into the first. And we're going to get that closed up nice and evenly, just like so. And we're going to have it just like that. Okay? So it's just like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take jump ring number 3. Okay? Jump ring number 3. Open it up just like so. We're going to take jump rings 1 and 2, and that's laying perfectly because I want to go in the middle of both of them. Okay, just like so. And then we'll go ahead and close it up. And what I like about this is this just kind of, you're kind of making up your own little bead cap. And then this is what it ends up looking like. It's just really cute. It just looks like a spacer bead. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take this. This is probably just a couple and a half inches, maybe 3.5 inches, maybe 3. I can't remember where I put it, but I think I put it somewhere probably around right here. And I'm just gonna make like a big eye pin. Okay, and I feel like it might be a little bit bigger. Might be a little bit bigger. So let me open it up just a little bit more and see if I can get it made a little bit bigger. And did. It's a little wonky, but that's all right because it's going to go on there really well and it'll stay put. And I just want to straighten that out. So now let's go ahead and, again, it is a little wonky, but that's okay. And then let's put that on there. Let's get that to go through, and that's good. Okay, now we'll just go ahead and close it up. And it's closed. All right, and it still moves. And that is perfect. This just didn't get closed up very well. Okay, so let's just make sure we're all straight. So you just want to have that nice straight angle. And let's go ahead and thread on one of those gorgeous chunky beads. Now we're going to grab this little nest like so, just right down the middle. Make sure you have them all. Grab your rondelle and just make sure your rondelle gets placed in there. And I want that to be my front. So just make sure your rondelle fits in there. We're going to try and get as tight as we can with our wire, okay? And just, you can kind of move things around a little bit. Just make sure you get in there. All right, and just kind of look at it and see what you think. Go ahead and give it that 90-degree angle bend. We're going to come in with our round nose pliers, form over the top barrel, rotate our wrist, come in, push that to the back. Let's go ahead and get that centered. Now, this is where we're going to continue back. We're going to lock that in place, and then we're going to make sure that our little jump rings stay intact. And they are. They didn't very much so when I was doing the first one because I was wiggling all around. Okay, there we go. Let's bring in our flesh cutters, trim that. I like to come in with my bent chain nose pliers because then it's bent and I'm not all awkward, right? And let me tuck in that little piece of tail to finish that off. Perfect, love it. And let's go ahead and open that guy up, get that threaded on, and close back up. And here we have our first pair of earrings. Again, this is using the Mermaid Grotto. And I still have tons of beads left. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your head pin's not going to slide through the hole of your bead. The next thing you want to do is get that all on there nice and tightly. And as you can tell, there's not a whole lot of room with that, but that's okay because we're going to try and get down in there nice and tight because we don't want it to move around. I don't want it to move around. So now let's go ahead and give it that 90-degree angle bend. Let's go ahead and come in with our round nose pliers, form that over the top, rotate, push to the back. Let's go ahead and get this over, grab our chain nose pliers, and just try to make it as tight as we can make it on there, because I don't want it to move around. So let's go ahead, get that going. 2 wraps is good. When I go to make the 3rd, that's when I start feeling like I need to grab my, I usually don't wrap with my right hand. I only wrap with my left. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this moved around a little. Okay, so let's get this wrapped a 3rd time around. Okay, then I'm just going to start. The 3rd wrap is the one that I just kind of manually go around and grab it with my pinching nose pliers. I put up against that bead and then just kind of do a little bit of squeezing and letting go, and squeezing and letting go, and squeezing and letting go until I get all the way around to the back. And it's going to move. I didn't want it to move, but I guess there's some, this one doesn't move at all, and that's what I really liked about it. But I guess this one's gonna move, because also too, the hole for the faceted bead up on top is a little wide, and so this just kind of tucks in kind of nicely. There we go. And I'm just gonna, yeah, I was hoping that it would not move around like the other one, but the hole, you see the hole of the crystal here is a little bit bigger, so it doesn't really, this one just went right up against it and it was flawless. This one, not so much, but that's all right. We will just deal with it, right? These are mine anyways. They're not going anywhere. And so now I have my 2nd pair of earrings. Oh, I love them. I love those colors. So pretty, so pretty. So we have 2 pairs of earrings done. Now let's go ahead and bring in our 3rd and final pair. And I am going to need to grab another piece of wire. So let me just go ahead and grab this ear wire here and do that on there. Okay. And I pull from a really large spool. This is where it anchors down in. But so I just pull from a large spool, and I just pull out all the wire as much as it wraps around once, and then I just go from there. So what I'm going to do is, because when I cut here, then what if I don't have enough? What if I have too much? So I kind of am maybe doing a little bit from the spool, but I'm going to put my top bead on. Okay, so I'm going to put my top bead, put my spacer bead, and I'm going to put the gorgeous barrel bead. Oh, I love it. Then what we're going to do, I did a flush cut. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to do a standard loop right there. Let's go ahead, and it doesn't need to be too big. So we'll just go ahead and get that loop and then break the neck there so that we have a nice eye pin. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, and it's easier, for me, it's easier to attach when I'm going to be doing an eye pin or something with having a stack of beads on top. It's easier for me to, I think I'm going to need to open it up a bit more. And I think I ran into this when I was doing it before too. It's easier for me to do my wire wrapping and then get this bottom opening open when I don't have my beads all stacked up on there nice and tightly. Okay, so now let's go ahead and close that off. And there we go. And so these guys are just sitting there waiting to be wrapped up. So let's go ahead and wrap. We're going to come in, not at the very tippy tip. We're going to come in a little bit in, but we do want it to sit nice and tightly on there. So just make sure that your rondelle is sitting inside your spacer before you go. Let's go ahead and form over that top barrel. Hold on to this, rotate your wrist, push to the back, rotate to get it all nice and centered. Then I don't think I'm going to need my bent chain nose pliers, because I'm going to go ahead and wrap with my fingers, which I rarely do because I feel like I get a real good grip, and I think I wrap better with having the bent chain nose pliers. Okay, and so now I have a nice big piece to work with. Let's go ahead and come in with our bent chain nose pliers to hold those down. Let's move all those guys. And let's just come in and get this all nice and smoothed out. Because I got it so nice and tight, I have to come in kind of alongside the bead too and get that to where it's all pushed in. Okay, and if it looks a little wonky, that looks a little wonky, just kind of come in with your round nose pliers again and just twist a little. And when you twist a little, you can bring that up to where it's nice and even. And let's open this up and get this on there. The little coil snuck down a little bit. That's okay. And then here's our third pair of earrings, our third and final pair of earrings. Aren't those beautiful? Those are so pretty. I love those colors. They're just gorgeous. So we have 1, 2, 3 pairs of earrings. There we go there. There's our 3 pairs of earrings. I'll get pictures of these and get those posted. And then we can't forget our necklace with our shell beads and our little bells that we made and our chain. And so I'll get all this photographed up, and then you'll see the video, hopefully soon, because like I said, I've been having a difficult time with the old YouTube, and it's not their fault. I know it's not their fault. It's likely just my connection or something, but we'll get it going. All of a sudden, you'll see a flood of videos come through from me. So be sure to like the video if you like the video, and also to comment. I love to see what everybody has to say, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video, because I still have a lot of beads from this mix. Plus, we have the poolside strand that we're going to work on hopefully next. I'm going to be making a necklace and a pair of earrings to match. Aren't those just beautiful? So I'm going to put links. I'm going to put links to everything that I received in this pack, and it's going to include bead mixes and the strand that you didn't see in this video, but I'm also going to link my unboxing where I unboxed everything as well, so that you can see how everything was before I started putting all these things together. And then hopefully we'll just have another slew of videos of all this fun goodness. I have so many fun ideas coming up. I have so many beads that I have from Jessie James Beads that I cannot wait to put to good use, and I will. And until next time, have a good one.